Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're finally finishing our top 70 best games of all time with number 10 through 1. All right, so it has taken us a long time to get here. We are cranking the channel back up though. After this video, we've got lots of great stuff coming out, and we're gonna start focusing more on gameplays as well, I believe. But right now, we want to get into the top 10, and number 10 is Tapestry. So this is a game that has kind of wavered all over my list, but over the past year or so, I have started really getting back into it. Board Game Arena has helped out a lot with that, reminding me how much I love this game. And then every time I take it off the shelf and actually put it on the table, it's just so much fun. This is the theme is it's a civilization game, but very, very light on the theme, I would say. It's really more you're progressing up tracks, trying to collect points in various ways by progressing up these tracks. And the tracks represent things like military and technology and science and exploration, I believe. And then if you get an expansion, there's an arts track, and you have these. You're going to go through four rounds, I believe, total. And each time you enter a new round, you play out a tapestry card, which kind of is the personality of your civilization, basically. And there's a central map where you're doing some exploration, and then you have your main board where you're building out your capital city. A lot of fun. Tapestry. Number nine is Game of Thrones, the board game, second edition. Right here, actually. Here it is. Oh, there we go. And this is a best played game at 6 players. It is kind of in the same vein as Twilight Imperium 4th edition in terms of how epic the game can be. It's going to take you around 5 to 8 hours, depending on the decisions in the game and how intensely the game's being played, how much negotiations going on, that kind of stuff. But it is very much, right in line with the books, the show. Tons of backstabbing, tons of, not being able to trust the people that you're in an alliance with. You have 6 of the primary houses from the books that you start with, and you're basically fighting over the map of Westeros, trying to see who can control the most key areas of the map. That's Game of Thrones, the board game, second edition. Number 8 is Terraforming Mars. This is you are colonizing Mars, you are terraforming it over the course of generations. So every round of the game counts as one generation that's lived on Mars. And so you're doing things, you're trying to increase the heat, increase the oxygen, and increase the amount of water on the planet, I think, are the 3 things. Anyway, the heat and oxygen are 2 of the key pieces for sure. You're playing cards, different ways to increase that. You're building cities on Mars, and you're expanding the forests on Mars, or plant life, I should say. And in the end, the person who has contributed the most to the terraforming project is the winner. And of course, victory points, that kind of thing. But there's so many cards, so many different ways you can play the game. You can get there's an expansion called Prelude that gives you kind of a boost at the beginning to help get the game moving a little bit quicker, and that's Terraforming Mars. Number 7 is Brass Birmingham. God, I love this game. I know there's a new version of Brass getting ready to go up on crowdfunding soon, I believe. I may back that. I haven't backed a Kickstarter game or crowdfunding game in so long, but I may back the new Brass because I love Birmingham so much. I only get to play it about once a year when I go to my buddy's house, and it's always a good time. So many cool decisions here, and you have the first era or something where you're putting out, you're using the canals in that era to like move stuff around, and then the second era comes and you kind of wipe the board clean of most of the stuff you've done, not everything, but most of it, and now you're laying down railroad tracks. And it's essentially you're just a merchant or something like that. You're kind of building out this area and making money, but it has so many decisions, and it's kind of funny. It is a little bit complex in the way some of the mechanisms interact. And I heard somebody say that if you're playing Brass for the first time and somebody's not telling you, no, that's wrong, multiple times throughout the game because you're getting rules wrong, then you're not playing it right. So something to keep in mind. Now, number 6, another game I only get to play once a year at my buddy's house, Kutna Aura. I don't even know if we played it this last time we were there. I think we did, but this is you are essentially a mining village, and so there's part of it where you're digging down in the mines. There's part of it where you're building out infrastructure in the city itself, and it has the coolest thing about this game is the economy feature, where you've got this deck of cards that slide into this sort of deck holder, but it has little slats on it to let you only see parts of the cards. And the slats can move based on what you build in the game. And so if you build a building that's going to flood the market with more of a resource, then you slide the slat a certain way, and now that resource is going to be worth less probably. And so you also are going to be flipping the cards to go deeper into the deck, and it makes it so that the economy feels alive and feels relatively predictable in terms of if I build this, then this probably is going to happen. Very, very cool. Kutna Aura. Number 5 is Aeon Trespass Odyssey, that big white box up there. This is a game that is on the list of games for my crew to play, campaign games for my crew to play. It is clearly heavily influenced by Kingdom Death Monster, which is right there, in the sense that it's a boss battler, and you have, when you're fighting the boss, you have a deck of the boss's body parts that you're kind of attacking and all of this kind of stuff. But where it's different than Kingdom Death, in Kingdom Death, when you damage a boss, then they get weaker in the sense that they lose AI cards. They're losing their capabilities. But in Aeon Trespass Odyssey, when you damage a boss, they actually gain a new card into their deck. So they always have a consistent number of cards in their AI deck, but they become they become angry basically and become a little bit more vicious. So a ton of fun in Aeon Trespass Odyssey. That's number 5. Number 4, Mage Knight, the board game. Absolute classic game here. If you have not played Mage Knight, the board game, it is super difficult to get into from the rulebook. It has a learn to play guide that's pretty damn good at getting you into it. The rulebook itself is rough, so don't use the physical rulebook, people. Get a PDF of the rulebook. If you get a searchable PDF, it greatly enhances your ability to play the game. You are a mage knight running across the countryside and just kicking ass and destroying enemies, and you're increasing your fame because you don't level up with experience, you level up with fame, which is kind of interesting. And in the base scenario, you're trying to find 2 cities and take them down. It has a deck building system where you are adding cards to your deck, but you're probably only going to see those cards once per round, and there's only 6 rounds in the normal scenario. So it has deck building, but it's very much, you've got to be very thoughtful about it. But that is Mage Knight, the board game, my number 4. Number 3 is Ark Nova. What a fantastic game. This is the first time it's on the list, and it is at number 3. I love this game. Cannot get enough of it. Play it, physical copy, play the board game arena copy. I love it. Love it so much. You are building a zoo, but it is a very complex game with lots of interactions. So many different animals in this game. You have animals from all 5 continents, and then you're like partnering with other zoos from other continents so that the animals are a little bit less expensive, and then you're upgrading cards in the game, and you have these 5 action cards that you decide what you're going to do with, and they're on slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if it's in slot 5, it's the most powerful version of that card, and then when you use it, it goes back to slot 1, and everything cycles through that way. I can't say enough good things about Ark Nova. It's a phenomenal game. Number 2, Kingdom Death Monster, right here, which always rotates back and forth between 1 and 2 for me. We are getting close. My game group is talking about doing Kingdom Death next, so we'll see how that goes. We've already played 1 campaign, lost around Land Year 14. It is a dark, desolate world where there is no sunlight. Everybody carries around these lanterns, and you're fighting off these horrific monsters that your whole job is to keep the settlement going. You're going to get attached probably to some of your survivors, but they are going to die. Sometimes they die valiantly in battle. Sometimes they die because on the way to battle, you rolled bad and a survivor dies. It's that type of game. Absolutely crazy moments in this game. The monsters are insane. The game itself has just so much you can dig your teeth into. And I've got the Gambler's Chest expansion for it as well, which adds a whole lot of content to it as well, and a whole lot of rules as well. It kind of gives you the advanced version of Kingdom Death Monster. That's number 2. And number 1 is Frosthaven. Now, could be the reason Frosthaven is number 1 right now and Kingdom Death number 2 is because my game group is actively playing through Frosthaven. We this past Saturday, we knocked out 3 scenarios of Frosthaven. So it is a game that we are really, really into right now. It has been a blast. I'm painting all the minis as we unlock them in Frosthaven. It's such a good time. You have, it's a game where when you start a scenario, you're going to have a certain number of cards in your hand. And as your guy levels up, you can change cards out in your hand, but you always have the same number. Each card has a top action and a bottom action, and you play 2 cards, top action of one, bottom action of the other on each of your turns, and you're fighting through these monsters, trying to achieve these objectives. Meanwhile, there is a outpost phase that Gloomhaven did not have. It got added to Frosthaven, which honestly reminds me a lot of the settlement phase in Kingdom Death Monster. And the outpost phase is kind of like that's kind of the thing that people are most you either like it or you don't, right? So people either like Gloomhaven or like Frosthaven, and for the most part, it's because either they love the outpost phase, in which case they like Frosthaven, or they don't like it, in which case they like Gloomhaven. But you're building up an outpost and making it stronger, dealing with enemy attacks in the outpost. What a good time! What a good time! We're probably maybe halfway through the campaign at this point. So Frosthaven has been a blast. All these games are so good. Thank y'all so much for watching this. I know, again, I apologize for the channel kind of slowing down quite a bit from July through September, roughly. But again, we're going to keep moving. I plan next, I have a game that's from the Perdition's Mouth universe called Beyond the Rift. I'm going to film a gameplay of that here pretty soon, and lots of other exciting stuff. Of course, we're going to complete some of the series that we've already started. SAS Rogue Regiment, Kingdom Death Monsters Gambler's Chest expansion, and Dungeon Universalis all have series that I've begun that I've got to finish as far as instructional series. So all that's coming. Y'all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.